Okay, hello everyone. This is January 31. Welcome to a new community call. As I was saying before, my voice is a bit tired because I just finished this presentation at the King's College in London. I talk about Kleros in this seminar series about the future of blockchain law, governance in general. So yeah, I think I'm going to today. Let's see. I will, while I recover a bit my voice, I will let maybe Jamilia. Do you want to comment a bit on the fellowship call we had with the participants, to comment a bit on what happened yesterday? We have very interesting research being done about different aspects of Kleros, some of which I had no idea Kleros could be applied to, but yeah, I will let Jamila comment maybe a bit on this.
Sure. Yeah, well, yesterday we had a first research call with our fellows. They've started their fellowship 1 month ago. So we have monthly checkly calls, and yesterday they were presenting the work that they've done so far. And it was honestly really impressive. Some of the fellows have already like 50 pages of their research. And I'm like, wow, that is a lot. And some of the topics as well, they are so diverse. One in particular is focusing on Kleros, the use of Kleros for nature's voice. That is so original. I haven't even thought in that direction at all, and that is incredibly interesting. So once the fellows are done with their research and their reports are published, we'll be happy to share it with the community because it's incredibly interesting. So we do have several also, let's say, like legal tech type of researchers who focus on implementation or like legality of dispute resolution on chain in different countries. And that is exciting because, even if we are more or less researching in a similar field, everyone has their own research lens and methods. They're so different, and it's been really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to the next step, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. For now, it's very promising, very nice. I was really happy.
Thank you, Jamila. I honestly I never thought about the use of Kleros as a kind of Supreme Court for nature. I mean, we did discuss in the past use cases about carbon credits and tokenization and that types of things. But I mean, this way in which this particular fellow is trying to use Kleros is, for me, it's new. It is great because it opens new areas for research. And about the people who are more focusing on the legal elements, I guess that's super interesting as well, because last week we saw the Mexican president actually signing into law the law that was passed by the Congress of Mexico like about 1 month ago, about new law for dispute resolution, alternative dispute resolution methods. Which reviews a bunch of technologies that can be used for dispute resolution in Mexico. One of those is AI automation. Another one is, basically it's decentralized justice, which is defined in the bill, basically as we define it. So it's clearly the influence of Kleros now becoming, for the first time, we could say that it's a legal way for solving disputes in Mexico, which is, I would say, breakthrough, important not just for Kleros, of course, but also for most of the blockchain industry. And this tends to make real this idea, about the paper that was written by Maxime Chevalier in the Walter Kluwer blog a while ago, after the first Mexican case happened in 2020 about bridging, the blockchain legal orders with the national legal orders. This is the first bridge happening, and crosses through Mexico, which is amazing. So it's one of the, I imagine, one of the best weeks we had at Kleros in the history of the project. I mean, this is becoming part of the real infrastructure for dispute resolution in the world, in a very big country such as Mexico. We, of course, are already starting a bunch of conversations with different stakeholders from Mexico to try to, capitalize on this achievement, to try to drive more adoption. In particular, as you can imagine, this type of this legislation opens doors wide open in the field of consumer claims, which is extremely important category because they have a lot of volume of. That's where the claims exist basically in the world now. So yeah, I'm going to go to Mexico. I was invited to give a talk at an event in Movistar. It's a big telecom company from the Americas. I'm going to hold a bunch of talks with different people from the ecosystem to see if we can bring the use of Kleros into some of those companies, based, I would say, in the model of implementation that we have been testing and trying with Lemon, that can be scaled in different ways to other exchanges, for example, but also for since this is not specifically crypto implementation, this can be used for general fintech companies. This could be used for insurance tech companies. This could be used for all of the kind of consumer claims, banks, lots of things that happen in the real world economy. So yeah, this is super exciting. We had before said that Congress passed the law, but now it's official. It was published in the official journal of Mexico, which makes it binding for Mexico. This is a big step for Kleros, and I would say for blockchain basically. So that was a really interesting thing happening the last week. I will let maybe William go now. Go ahead.
Sure. So I've been continuing the research that I've been doing, recently, thinking a lot about different kinds of incentive voting mechanisms you can put in different dispute kits. So we've done a lot of work over the years on different incentive voting mechanisms. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about this in the yellow paper, which is at this point several years old. And the stuff in the yellow paper you would notice is we really designed around having the sort of most general mechanisms that are really robust against all the attacks we could imagine, that we can think of as being the best thing we could come up with for the highest level of appeal courts. And now that Kleros 2.0 is getting closer to being available, we're thinking about how we can use its modularity, the different kinds of voting and incentive systems in different types of courts. Different courts can have different systems. And then what kinds of bespoke systems are more applicable for different types of things. If you have something that's in a first appeal round where you have a really high imbalance between the rates so that the cases win, maybe the freelancer always wins the freelancer versus small business claim dispute types cases, what's the best incentive system for that? So I've been working on that, continuing to think about SPTs, and how they can be used in juror selection, which is again something that can be built into a Kleros module. So lots of exciting research directions.
Awesome. So William, since we are in the middle of all of the interest about blockchains and AI, following on Vitalik's article, maybe you can explain a bit on how we have been thinking about the interactions between Kleros and artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So I just read that article. I guess it came out yesterday. So it's interesting, it's interesting to have his perspective. There are parts of that echo how I thought about this. So like the sort of first point that he's, I guess, the most optimistic about, like blockchain interacting with an AI in the near future, is this idea of having AI participants in blockchain games that human beings can also participate in, but like maybe it makes more sense for an AI to do that. Like, so for something that like we've thought about is like, what would it look like to have like AI challengers in curated lists that are curated by Kleros, which is something that could be like, that could really expand the usefulness of such lists, and make, like extend their viability to more use cases than what we currently have. Because like often incentivizing good challengers is like one of the hard parts about implementing a good curated list. And it's only sort of works if you have like the right incentives in place for submitters and challengers to interact in an ecosystem. And if you can really ratchet down the cost of being a challenger, then that makes this that much more valuable. I know that like there's been some efforts for humanity to have AI tools to review whether submissions are duplicates or formatted incorrectly or something. And like I feel that's like like an important tool to be able to make a list like that like really really valuable. So that's something I'm excited about. Like there's sort of like like thoughts on how AI could interact with crypto more broadly, that Vitalik discussed, are things to reflect on. These questions about like, if you can like encode AI directly into a smart contract, and like how can you make that non-manipulable? These are important questions.
I guess that's more futuristic if you want. From a particular case, the way I've been, I guess, thinking about AI, there's two different ways. One of them is about how Kleros and AI can be like competitors in some way. So there's some background noise. I mean, please everyone mute. So yeah, that's better. So one of the ways in which we have been thinking about AI and Kleros is in division of labor, AI for more objective, simple claims, then Kleros for still small claims, but mostly in situations where AI cannot work very well, like because involves understanding the context, understanding emotions of parties. So this is something we see, for example, in content moderation. Content moderation companies like Facebook and Twitter have been investing for a long time in trying to automate their content moderation systems because of saving money in having human moderators, but they have only been able to go so far, like preventing spam or more objective situations. It's hard for them still to resolve through automated means like harassment, hate speech, and other situations where context is important. It's important to understand the emotions. It's important to be able to make some moral judgments or, well, stuff that AI for now at least is not very good at. And then the other, for more complex disputes, we will still have, traditional resolution methods that have existed for a long time, like courts and stuff like that. This is the way in which we have typically thought about the interaction between Kleros and AI in the context of like division of labor. Each technology will address a specific type of use case. I think that what we have been seeing recently after GPT models, and very particular after our community member Rob launched, this bot called Harmony, is about the combination and complementarity of AI and Kleros in the particular context of this Harmony bot. It's a bot that acts like a mediator that assists party in trying to reach a settlement in the context of a mediation process. And if there is no settlement reached, so this goes to a Kleros arbitration based on the model that we developed called the Kleros mediation bridge. So this is a great way of actually onboarding users into arbitration through automated mediation procedure. So this is a different way in which we have been thinking lately about the interactions between Kleros and AI, and this is something that really excites me because it's going to be, I mean, as I mentioned many times, dispute systems of the future, the design is going to be mostly about combination of technologies, not just division of labor. So this is, I was also super excited. If you have not tried, like, do it, because it's amazing. It's mind blowing how well it works. I mean, and it's becoming hard to see that it's not a human, that this is a bot. I mean, do try it, and I can imagine more and more integrations coming from GPT models and Kleros for arbitration. So that's super exciting. So yeah, that's something that we have been discussing about a bit this week because of all of the AI hype triggered by Vitalik's article. But these are things that we have been thinking for a long time. I did write a short thread on Twitter, and I actually remember the first time we did some AI analysis of Kleros cases was with dodges on trial. We ran some like face recognition algorithm, but I would have to say dog recognition algorithm to see if it recognized dodges or not. And well, it did a good job sometimes, but then for other cases was harder. So that was the first time we started thinking, in Kleros and the AI. And hard to believe this was in 2018, I think. So yeah, long time. Time flies, I would say. Okay, so that has been one of the things we have been doing this week. I will let now Alex continue.
Hi, everybody. So yeah, just to give you some updates on the BD team and more especially on the DAO space. We will publish the article regarding the failed attack on the Proof of Humanity DAO. So we talked about it extensively in previous calls. There will be a blog post article summarizing all of these. So you will be able to have more detail on that. Then I'm also working on some integration related to Blockup DAO. So basically we are doing a proof of concept with them. So I'm working on everything related to setting up notifications, because it's a very important step with our dev. An important thing you need to know as well is there is this website, so DAO-based. Basically, they are recensing and gathering all the DAOs around, basically. So we are doing a partnership with them. They will announce it soon, basically, because we are providing our DAO tooling for the DAO available. And yes, it will be announced soon. And you can basically already see on their website for the DAO that are using our module, so the Zodiac module, in order to secure their treasury. Basically, you can see a Kleros logo, basically, and a link directing to their snapshot. So it's a case for 1inch, for instance, 1inch DAO, but it's also the case for Reno.fi as well, for instance. So that's it. And we also have interesting features. So we talked about two DAO framework. It's like legal wrapper. One is Marshall Island DAO. Basically, we are going to be featured in their newsletter as a partner, as a key partner. So there will be a specific writing and links in order to explain the DAO they want to basically set up the module. And it's going to be the same as well, a legal framework for DAOs to incorporate your DAO. So I guess this can be useful if you have a DAO to check these. So we are going also to do a Twitter space in 2 weeks, probably. So yeah, that's mostly it on the DAO front. And we are talking with different projects from different sides. So local projects that are doing here in Portugal, online secure voting. We are talking with DAO like LexDAO as well that are doing also interesting stuff. So yeah, plenty of things going on this side.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Let's go to Marcos.
Hey. Well, from the BD side, besides what's related to DAOs, but Alex already mentioned, we're still receiving more lemon cases. This is good for all jurors that are staking their money or their PNK in the blockchain no Technica. And because of this, we are working, we're trying to automate the whole process of what we are doing to Lemon, so that we are able to reply with new exchanges, as Federico said before, with fintechs that could be related to Mexico, for example, or any other country. So, well, it's good. We have been working on that. And about new integrations, I think most news were related to DAOs. So Alex already mentioned most of them. We are scheduling to do the Kleros workshop on February the 29th. That this is going to be in Mendoza, that is a province in Argentina. And well, the workshop is going to be mostly for, I think it's to people that is related to derecho. How do you say, Federico? I forgot the name.
Right.
For lawyers. Sorry, it's mostly for lawyers.
Yeah, for lawyers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly for lawyers. So yeah, that's where the BD team has been mostly working this week. And well, we are in the talks or in the works with two Web3 companies for an integration that maybe it's going to be announced next week.
Cool. Thank you, Marcos. It's quite interesting the work we're doing to automate this process for onboarding cases coming from consumer claims into Kleros, because these types of disputes are like high volume. So this is where we imagine Kleros being able to resolve disputes in the I mean, not now, but at some point in the future, in the thousands, hundreds of thousands at the same time, I would say, because there are so many different court possibilities. And if succeeding what we are trying to do, I guess. So for now, the bottleneck has always been in the demand side of the marketplace and trying to get more cases into Kleros. Now that is happening, and we are already starting to think in the kind of how to build the infrastructure for the supply side to be able to respond to the demand side. One of those developments is Kleros 2.0, which, as you know, is going to be way cheaper than the previous version. It's going to have a number of new features, that we have discussed at length here about SBTs, token-gated courts. It's going to be more flexible to address lots of different cases coming from different partners, which have different requirements. Some of them want one person, one vote. Others want verified skills. Well, so all of that work. But in the middle, between this cases coming from the consumer side and those and Kleros as a protocol, there is like this bridge and this onboarding process that we are starting to build now, because how do you load cases on Kleros? And this includes first the work we've done with Rob at the beginning with the mediation bridge, the human mediation bridge, Harmony as another tool, as people call it, MedArb and mediation arbitration process, which is another way of onboarding. And then the third one is, well, this backend development of how can we load cases faster into Kleros for keeping up with the pace of potentially exponentially growing amount of cases coming from consumer clients. So that's also very important in order for Kleros to be able to scale and solve many more cases. Yeah, Marcos.
One last thing here, the one that has been mostly working with this is Alex and Koki, who I realized that is here. For the moment, it's not a lot of work. Maybe Koki wants to mention something, but this is going to be really helpful for Kleros. Again, if we get to that quantity of cases each month.
More than if, I would say when. The thing is, be able to do it before we start reaching those amount of cases.
Yeah, actually, one thing we already said is that at the end of last year, we received the possibility, or we had the possibility to accept kind of a deal where we are going to receive a quantity of cases that we were not going to be able to solve them, or because of the whole manual process, but with something that like the thing we are doing now with Koki's help and again Alex's help, the developers' help, we should be able to do it in the next months. So yeah, it's very important to do it before we receive that quantity of cases.
I guess then the problem is going to be to find more jurors, so you guys start learning Spanish, because that's where it seems cases are. I mean, you can do it with AI translated stuff. Okay, thank you, Marcos. So let's go to Jean.
This week we had a post by Guanyan about the ease of implementing Kleros with V2 and what changes when the Kleros control is launched. And basically, there's a lot of probably JB will be better talking about this, but I'll just share what my perspective is from someone that does not code. Basically, the developers now can implement Kleros without having to code the part about the dispute evidence and the appeal logic. That was something that generated a lot of friction for people trying to implement Kleros from zero. So usually integrations require lots of hand-holding, and this will be greatly reduced with the V2. And also the other frameworks that are easier to integrate. And there's something that we haven't published yet. I'm not sure when it will be ready, but JB also created a really easy to use template that you can just, with 2 lines of code, you can start like a Kleros application with all the basic stuff that you need. And I hope we can publish it soon, because it will really showcase how easy it will be to implement Kleros. And of course, the Guanyan's article also mentions about other improvements, like Kleros V2. Of course, it will be cross-chain and available on lots of avian compatible chains, and also, it will be possible to pay the arbitration fees with tokens that are not necessarily the native token, like the gas token of the chain, which is the situation right now, where we have ETH or mainnet on XDAI on Gnosis chain. So there's a lot of flexibility, as Federico said, on how to configure integrations. And of course, we've been posting about the AI intersection with Kleros, and I have to mention something that happened to me this week. Someone asked me for help with a case where they were challenging proof of humanity, and helped create a defense with the using ChatGPT. We like compiled a couple of arguments that I thought were good, and the person actually ended up winning the case. So I think that this will be part of the future of Kleros, and because it's kind of easy to get something. Some ideas into the text formats that make sense to the jury or to the jurors, and you can convince them. I'm sure that there will have lots of examples like this in the future, and also if some of the lemon evidences are also improved with GPT tools, right?
Yeah, I mean, for one of the main learnings we had with the lemon cases is that we can help. I mean, we as the cooperative can help users who have a claim against the exchange by helping them make a better claim and a better report of the claim. And then there is this situation where you help them and then they lost, but they don't have any resentment against you because of losing, because you did your best to help them. It's like lawyer helps you, but then you can still lose. This we have seen and we have measured greatly increases the satisfaction of the losing party with the process and with overall the service that the exchange delivers. So this was an extremely important, learning from us. That if you help people to make a better report, they are grateful and they are more likely to be satisfied with the decision, even if they lose. And also the importance of the justifications. Sometimes people lose the case, but they get like 5, 6, 7 different justifications from different jurors. If you so you think you're right, you go to court against the exchange, and then you lose, and you see 7 different people giving an opinion, a justification, explaining why you are not right. I mean, it can be humbling for people, and maybe you were wrong. That's the thing, and this is what we have seen, and it's an extremely important learning, because in the end, when we try to sell this service to exchange or a fintech company or insurance or consumer marketplace, whatever, the calculation they do is this a good thing to have more satisfied customers, and is this tool that we can use to have a customer stay with our business, right? This is this something to increase customer loyalty? We are proving that Kleros can actually, through this transparent process, be a tool for loyalty for customers, and this is the way in which these companies do this evaluation, and this is the way in which this is the reason why they will be willing to pay for this service to Kleros. So this is a super interesting learning, and part of that is the use of ChatGPT in order to help users or parties make their deposition, let's say. So that's super interesting.
For the moment, one thing about this, for the moment we are using ChatGPT for the claims, but we are too exploring another tools. So maybe in the future we are going to be using ChatGPT or any other AI. And about what Federico was saying, I was going to add something and I forgot it.
That happens. Yeah. I mean, you're young. I mean, it could happen to me, but yeah.
Yeah. No. Go ahead, because I forgot it. It was the first thing was that we are exploring other tools, other AI tools, but maybe I will remember it later or for the next community.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. I mean, so no, that's interesting. I mean, at some point, if we start combining these different tools that we have been exploring lately, we can imagine that basically, I mean, ChatGPT, so the customer, I mean, could just interact with a GPT agent, and that GPT agent could help him improve their claim and the report they make, and this would be even faster, because so humans have to sleep and stuff, and if you have a GPT like doing this, being your lawyer in some way, it's like this lawyer bot receiving the claim and then helping the party or the consumer improve it, and then asking questions. So what do you think of this? I think we should improve this. If we can use that tool for improving that way to the onboarding of the claim to the arbitration process, it's going to be way faster. It's going to be way easier to do and cheaper, and this will also help have more companies interested in the service. So this is, again, another example of how dispute systems design combine different technologies. So yeah, I'm sure that this is what you wanted to say, Marcos, probably.
Yeah, I remember it. No, it's not a thing. It's related, not another thing. It's that the role of the of the AI, it's really important, because remember that here the Lemon users are, of course, they are not lawyers, and then they don't used to invest a lot of time while doing their claim. So their claims are really basics, and they used to have a lot of orthographic errors. So yeah, watching the claims before going through the AI, I would say that the claims that were won by the user, if the AI was not part of the process, most probably it would lost that case. So yeah, it's really important. At the beginning, we were not using it, and at that moment, where the policies were different, but before using it, I think there was no case won by a user, and now the claims, at least the claims, comparing the one with the user to the one done by the Lemon support team, are almost similar.
Yeah, I mean, when I prepare my talk for the ETHCC conference, this time in Belgium, not in Paris, my idea is to make a presentation of how we developed the product, how we started, what was the initial idea, and how we iterated based on learnings. You can have an idea of what you want to build, but then you put this in contact with actual customers and the actual users, and then you just realize that it has nothing to do with your early idea. One of the most important things we learned is the importance of justifications. If you we saw that people are sometimes even as interested or more interested in the justification that they get for a decision than the decision itself, at least in the way of the satisfaction they have with the process. So I'm going to, in my talk at THEC, if they accept it, of course. Otherwise, I will anyway do the talk. I will present it in some other place if they don't accept it. Explain how that process of learning happened and iteration until the current product we have, and how I imagine this to move forward in the future. Okay. I've been speaking like for 7 hours straight now. I don't know if you have any question I can answer, but otherwise I would just put my throat into water or something to rest. Okay.
Talking because there's a lot going on, but let's finish.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming. See you on Telegram.
DM me for the pops. Bye everyone.